Welcome back, guys, here with yet another video. This video is on my top 8 supplements. These supplements are all backed by science and it's going to come at you in 2 different parts. So make sure you stay tuned. To say the supplement market is overcrowded is a complete understatement. I mean, everywhere you turn, you've got new supplements being marketed towards you. You've got recovery aids, nootropics, you've got nighttime muscle builders, etc, etc. I've tried so many different supplements. I can tell you, not many of them do what they say they're going to do, to say the least anyway. But I'm going to go over my top 8 now, which do work and are backed by science. I'm doing this video in 2 parts because it's quite comprehensive. I'm going to go into as much detail as I can on each different supplement without boring you. I can do individual videos on each one if you want it. Well, drop a comment in the description if you want me to do any on any particular one. But for the meantime, I'm just going to give a bit more than a high level overview. Some will be shorter than others because of the nature of the actual supplement itself. First up, creatine, the legendary creatine. People think automatically if you're taking creatine, or if they start using creatine and they turn into the Incredible Hulk, or they're going to be ready for Mr. Olympia within 2 or 3 months. Creatine is effective. It's probably one of the most effective and cost-effective supplements out there, but just be wary that it's not going to work for everyone. There are such things as creatine non-responders and people that respond extremely well to creatine. The only way you really know is by trying it. The way creatine works is by increasing your energy stores within your muscles, known as ATP. So it can help you get that extra rep, can help you get that extra set out or whatever. It can help you in that respect, which can lead to size gains. It does increase cell volumization, which makes your muscles appear bigger, but that's a different story for another day. But in terms of performance, for some scientific evidence, let's take a look at this meta-analysis and systematic review done in 2019 on the effects of creatine supplementation on athletic performance in soccer players. So basically what it took a look at is the different skills related to playing soccer, so the different energy systems such as the strength and conditioning they did. I'll link the full study in the description below, but just as to point out the conclusion, the results of the systematic review and meta-analysis have shown that creatine supplementation improved the performance of physical tests related to anaerobic metabolism, especially anaerobic power in soccer players. I recommend using 2.5 grams before your workout, 2.5 grams after. If you take a shake after your workout, just put it in there or have it with some water or something similar. On non-workout days, 2 even doses, 2.5 grams in the morning, 2.5 grams in the evening. Not many people can absorb 5 grams at once. That's quite a fair bit. But like I said, it depends on person to person. But just I recommend 2.5 and 2.5. And I recommend creatine monohydrate. There's loads of different types of creatine, but the most researched creatine is creatine monohydrate, for the meantime anyway. Science is always changing, so it could be that they come up with a different form of creatine. For the meantime, creatine monohydrate, look for Creapure. I'm not going to suggest which brand because that's completely up to you. Each brand has different costs, but look for Creapure and you should be safe 99.9% of the time. So next up, BetaAlanine. You've probably come across this a few times and thought to yourself, what is it? Basically, it's a non-essential amino acid that is synthesized in the liver, can be found in meat and chicken. It increases carnosine levels in a muscle, which can lead to greater performance. Increased carnosine levels means the soaking up of lactic acid, increasing the pH, which can lead to greater time to exhaustion. So helping you get that further rep out, helping you run just a bit more and helping you just generally increase your performance. This systematic review and meta-analysis was published by the British Sports and Medicine Journal in 2017, and it was basically to see the effects of beta-alanine supplementation on exercise capacity and performance. As you can see from the study, the summary and conclusion showed that beta-alanine had a significant overall effect. So people will respond differently, exactly like creatine or anything else. So people with more fast-twitch muscle fibers will respond better. People that are older will also experience naturally decreased amounts of muscle carnosine, so they'll also respond better. And people that are vegetarians or vegans will also respond better because they won't be getting it naturally out of their diet. Even if you are getting lots of out of your diet, so you're eating lots of meat and chicken, you can still benefit out of beta-alanine. There's one known side effect, it's that tingly feeling, because it stimulates nerve endings in your skin, which leads to that tingly feeling. It's alive! It's alive! It's remotely uncomfortable. That will decrease with time and use, but some people find it too uncomfortable. I recommend experimenting with doses, taking somewhere between 2 and 6 grams, depending on the person. If you take 2 grams, just take 2 grams before workout. What I do is I take 4 grams prior to my workout and 2 grams with my post-workout shake. So next up, protein powders. I'm gonna keep this very short and sweet. Most people that train use protein powders. It's not essential that you use a protein powder, but I just find it convenient and they are faster absorbing than most meals. I particularly use a vegan brand. I use a Sun Warrior. I use the Warrior Blend. I used to use a collagen protein for a while. I did a video on collagen protein. Collagen is not complete in terms of an amino acid profile. It doesn't have all amino acids to build our bodily proteins. It has many positive effects. So I do use it alongside here, there, and everywhere. It's not something that I'm gonna add to this long list. Story for another day, but it is effective and it's good to use alongside it. But soy protein, big no-no, can have estrogenic effects on the body, also poorly absorbed. Whey concentrate, I wouldn't use. High in lactose, which can cause stomach issues and digestion issues. You don't want that, trust me. And it's generally speaking more poorly absorbed than the better whey protein, which is whey isolate. Whey isolate is much more highly absorbed. It's higher in amino acids and generally speaking has little to no lactose, so it's good on the gut. So if you're going to take a whey protein, make it whey isolate. If you're going to use a vegan brand, look for a vegan blend. Avoid the antioxidants. That's a story for another day, but you don't need those after you work out. You want the inflammation, you don't want to reduce the inflammation after you work out. So go for a vegan blend. Try the Sun Warrior blend if you haven't already. It tastes great, it's packed full of nutrients, packed full of varied protein sources. But if you're gonna go for it, and also it's complete as well, it's complete protein. The pea and the hemp makes it complete. You don't have to particularly go for that brand, but if you find another brand with the hemp and the pea, more than welcome to go for that. That's just the one I use. So last but definitely not least, this last one's actually gold. So amino acids, I use EAAs and not BCAAs. BCAAs contain valine, isoleucine and leucine, and just those three. Essential amino acids contain all those three. They also contain lysine, they contain tryptophan, they contain phenylalanine, methionine and threonine. That is a complete protein. There's also histidine, which some people say, yeah, you know, it's an essential amino acid. It's more a non-essential amino acid and can be made in the body naturally as well and through these amino acids as well. So all amino acids trigger mTOR. mTOR's the anabolic switch in the body to activate muscle building. More on that in another video. But basically what leucine will do is, so say you take a BCAA, leucine's gonna activate mTOR, but it won't have the fuel necessary to build the bodily protein, which is what you want from an amino acid supplement. It's why you take the amino acids. So it'll do that and it won't have the fuel. So it'll start doing it, taking amino acids from other proteins within the body, sometimes actually from bodily protein, which is not what you want. So it can have the opposite effect. And most people think that BCAAs trigger protein synthesis. I can tell you EAAs trigger protein synthesis. BCAAs will largely be used as energy. This study was published by the Journal of International Society of Sports Nutrition in 2017. It had a look at branched chain amino acids and their effect on protein synthesis. The study concluded a physiologically significant increase in the rate of muscle protein synthesis requires adequate availability of all amino acid precursors. Unless BCAAs are taken with food, so they'll be used with the other essential amino acids, and then that will increase protein synthesis, increase absorption from a meal. That's a good way to use BCAAs. But using BCAAs as pre-workout fuel is probably not going to go very far, and to use it to increase mTOR, to increase muscle building, yeah, you're not going to get very far with that, pretty much, to be honest. I use EAAs, I take them pre-workout, and you can take them post-workout, you can take them all throughout the day. Some people use them instead of like a protein powder, that's completely up to you. But I take 5 to 15 grams when I'm fasted, just right before my workout, and that's probably about 30 minutes before my workout. And I find they work wonders. So they work well with energy, they work well with focus, drive, just everything. They activate a bunch of neurotransmitters in the body, so in the brain, in the gut, so they work on the whole body. If you're missing certain essential amino acids, say if you're vegan or vegetarian, you'll benefit greatly out of supplementing with essential amino acids. To be honest, anyone will. You've got to give them a try to really know what I'm talking about. And you've got to bear in mind they are a fair bit more expensive than the BCAAs even. BCAAs are pretty inexpensive, you can get them everywhere, but they are worth the extra buck, I promise you that now. Between 5 to 15 grams pre-workout, give it a shot, let me know what you think. Comment below if you have any questions about them. And that's part 1 all wrapped up. Thank you if you got this far, I really do appreciate it, it means a lot. So click that thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video, and be sure to share with friends, family, whoever, anyone that could benefit out of any of the advice in this video. Part 2 is coming very soon, but until then, keep pushing those limits.